In March 58 BC, the Helvetii, a coalition of Gallic tribes, initiated the mass relocation of their communities. Their intention was to peacefully traverse the Roman province of Transalpine Gaul. Yet Caesar denied them passage across the border. Compelled to seek an alternative path, the Helvetii navigated through the territories of Rome's allies, the Edui. This action raised concerns among the Romans, signaling the commencement of the Gallic Wars. As the Helvetii commenced their march, Caesar went back to Italy to muster 3 seasoned legions and 2 newly formed ones. Upon completing the assembly of 3 seasoned legions and 2 newly formed ones in Italy, Caesar swiftly returned to the scene. His purpose was to intercept and address the Helveti's march, marking the beginning of a pivotal phase in the unfolding events. He then crossed the Alps and made ready to pursue the Helvetii. The challenging terrain and strategic maneuvers in the looming confrontation added an air of anticipation to the unfolding events in this pivotal chapter of the Gallic Wars. The vast expanse of the Gallic landscape lay before the Roman army, concealing the Helvetii, who pressed onward with their migration. The pursuit was marked by a strategic dance, each move calculated to gain an advantage in the impending encounter. Aware of Caesar's advancing forces, the Helvetii confronted a critical decision: whether to confront the Roman legions in battle or persist in their migration. This pivotal choice hung in the balance, with the outcome shaping the trajectory of their journey and determining the nature of their interaction with Caesar's formidable military might. In June, Caesar caught up with them as they crossed the Saone River and defeated the canton of Tigerini, the last part of the migrating horde remaining on the east bank of the river. Caesar then ordered a bridge to be built across the river, and all 6 of his legions crossed the Saone in one day. According to Caesar, the Helvetii had taken 20 days to cross the Saone, and the rapid Roman crossing convinced them to ask for a meeting. Neither side was willing to give in to the other's demands, and the migration continued, with the Romans following close behind. Caesar had to rely on 4,000 cavalry raised from the province, the Edui and their allies. On the day after the meeting, his cavalry was involved in a clash with the Helvetian rearguard, which ended with a minor Roman defeat and greatly encouraged the Helvetii. For the next 15 days, the Romans followed closely behind the Helvetii, with a gap of no more than 5 or 6 miles between the 2 armies. Caesar's main problem was a lack of supplies. His own supply train was tied to the rivers, and so he was relying on the Edui to provide him with corn, but none reached the army. As a result, Caesar's army began to run out of food. He deployed his army to the nearest allied city, Bibracte, which the Helvetians tried to take advantage of. The Helvetians followed Caesar's army and attacked the rearguard. Upon learning of this development, Caesar dispatched his cavalry to stall the Gauls, creating a strategic delay to secure the optimal position for his army. He arranged 4 legions in 3 rows, positioning them at the base of the hill with the remaining 2 legions and all supporting troops. He stationed himself at the summit of the hill. Arranged in a battle formation atop the hill, Caesar's legions effortlessly thwarted the Helvetians' charge by employing thrown spears. Following this, the Roman legionaries unsheathed their swords and descended the hill to confront their adversaries. Though many of the Helvetii warriors had pillars sticking out of their shields, they threw them aside to fight unencumbered, but this made them more vulnerable to attacks. Consequently, the legions successfully pushed the Helvetii in the direction of the hill, where their supply train was situated. During this period, Roman forces faced an attack from Helvetian allies. A total of 15,000 boy and Julingi warriors assaulted the flank of the Roman army. Observing this development, the withdrawing Helvetic army regained momentum and launched another assault. This marked a pivotal moment in the battle for Caesar's army. In response, Caesar commanded the deployment of a 3rd line of infantry to engage the Boii and Julingi, while the first alliance confronted the renewed Helvetian attack. Despite the challenging circumstances, Caesar's strategic command and the disciplined maneuvers of the Roman forces allowed them to withstand the renewed Helvetian assault. The clash between the Roman legions and the Helvetian warriors intensified, creating a fierce and chaotic battlefield. As the 3rd line of infantry engaged the Boii and Julingi on one flank, the first 2 lines faced the Helvetian onslaught on the other. The air was filled with the clash of weapons, the shouts of warriors, and the dust kicked up by the swirling melee. Both sides fought fiercely for control of the battlefield, each aware of the critical nature of this moment in the unfolding conflict. The conflict between the Roman legions and the Helvetii persisted for numerous hours, extending well into the night. The clash of swords, the thundering footsteps of soldiers, and the war cries echoed through the darkness, creating a haunting symphony of war. Finally, the Romans captured the Helvetic baggage train. Caesar reported that 130,000 Helvetii escaped, but only 110,000 of them survived the retreat. Caesar was unable to pursue them due to his battle wounds, as well as the time needed to bury the dead, so he rested for 3 days before pursuing the fleeing Helvetii. Within 4 days of the battle, the Helvetii had reached the territory of the Longones. Caesar warned the Lingones not to assist them, which prompted the Helvetii and their allies to surrender. Eventually, the Helvetians had to return to their lands. Thank you for viewing my video. Please consider liking and subscribing for future content.